I want to go ahead first to Lynn calling from Michigan. Hey, Lynn, what's up?
Hi. I just want to, since we don't have a lot of time, just suggest a book, The Illusion of God's Presence by John C. Wathy. And he says, he's a neurologist, neuroscientist, and according to him, that we are kind of inborn with a sense of God, or rather a mental template for mother, and that pretty much all higher animals have it. It goes back pretty far in our evolution. So like a baby kitten will look for something big and furry with a nipple on it. And a puppy, most mammals, that's the way they are. But for humans, because we're born so undeveloped and so helpless that we need a mother or a mother substitute to survive. And it goes both ways. When adults see babies, we want to take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. I feel like, when we're talking about the idea of the presence of God, it's almost a unifying force. It's almost like a universal consciousness that we all kind of tap into when the preacher's up at the stand and he's kind of invoking the presence of God, like he's wanting to invoke a sense of community, a sense of sameness. More
than that, this often happens when we feel really down and really helpless, in trouble. That people say, well, I experienced God when I was, I was in the gutter and I was on drugs and, or I was just having a terrible time. And then I experienced this warmth and caring person of God.
That was the drugs. Yeah.
No, not necessarily. This happens to people who are not on drugs.
That's true.
People that are, climbing mountains
but that's oxytocin, though, if it's climbing mountains.
Well, that's part of it, but it's even more than that. It's like we have this, you could say, mother-shaped hole in our brain. Our brains are really set up to see things a certain way. Mm-hmm. Like when we see an optical illusion, we see optical illusions. We can see twins that are vastly different sizes.
Right. Our eyes are kind of fucked up, and we don't, because they evolved from fucking underwater fish eyes, right? And they don't really work.
Well, it's not just that. It's that our brains have to put things together.
Yeah.
It all happens in our brain. We don't actually see what's out there. We have to figure it out. And one of the things we have is, like I said, when we're infants, we have to respond to a mother.
Yes.
When mother picks us up, we have to look for food.
Yes.
That's how we survive. And the same it goes way back in our evolution.
Mm-hmm. Although I would, obviously you're not making this point, Lynn, but there are people who would say, well, because we have this kind of sense of it, therefore we need a sense of God in our lives. That's a requirement for living. And obviously, I think you would probably agree with me, that's not the case, right? We don't necessarily
need that. No, I don't think that's the case. That is what a lot of people say. Yeah. And they say, they call it the God-shaped hole. Right. And all of that. But
we can fulfill it. So. Yeah, we can definitely fulfill that in other ways. One way is, like I talk about pretty often, is community. Atheist Community of Austin is a great way of filling that for me, because I really like those kinds of communities, but also just, finding life-fulfilling activities. I mean, if gardening is what gets you through the day, then by golly, be the best gardener this world has ever seen. Like, go live out your life and do your thing, and that's enough for me. But anyway, I do have a full line of callers just waiting to talk to me now, and I want to get to every single one. So that means I'm going to have to let you go now, Lynn, but thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for calling, Lynn. I'll check the book out, I think. Thank you.
Yes. That book again is The Illusion of God's Presence, is what Lynn was talking about. So those of you who are interested in reading more about what she was talking about, go ahead